All right, so our final movie of the day, and my favorite, is the Coen brothers' latest, Serious Man. This is a great, dark comedy about a Jewish man who has to deal with a horrible, horrible life. So here's a clip. All right, so as I said, this was directed by the Coen brothers, who brought us No Country for Old Men, Burn After Reading, The Big Lebowski, Fargo. So many greats. And it stars Michael Stuhlbarg, who plays Larry Gopnik. And it's also got his brother, is played by Richard Kind, who I only can remember from Spin City as the weird guy at the desk.
He's also in Mad About You. Played a pretty big character in that.
Mad About You. Okay. And then my favorite actually was Fred Melamed, who plays his nemesis, who's taking his wife from him, a guy named Cy. But
Cy Abelman. Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen him in some other stuff that I've really enjoyed. So, but it's a great movie about a guy. It starts out with these two Russian Jewish people who take in an old man who turns out to be a ghost, but you're not really sure if he is or not. And then the wife stabs him because she thinks he's a ghost and is trying to purge the devil. So it kind of starts out with this ambiguous idea that somebody in their future will be cursed. They don't really directly relate to that ever again, which is a little weird for me. Mm-hmm. But it goes on this weird journey of this man who just everything goes wrong for him. His wife starts leaving him. His job starts going to crud. His kids are rebelling and doing that. His brother has this weird cyst that he has to drain through the whole movie. It's just his life just falls apart, and it's kind of like a finding yourself kind of movie, where he needs to learn what's going on. I gave this one an A because it has everything I love about a movie: weird plots, interesting characters, really dark humor. The one thing I wanted is I thought the main character should have been played by Eugene Levy, because I think he could have pulled a Jim or Jim Carrey or Adam Sandler where they play their little serious roles. I think it would have been nice. I like it when, like I said in the earlier review, I like it when random people show up.
Yeah.
I think Eugene Levy would have been okay in here, but Michael Stuhlbarg did play really well. I really liked how it fit with the time period of post-World War II, full of anti-Semitism and stuff. And it's just, it was really good overall, philosophically and character-wise.
No, that's pretty much, I agree with you on every point there. I felt like this was Coen Brothers' most original script since Barton Fink, which, if you've ever seen that one, it reminded me a little bit of, because it also involves with Judaism to a certain extent. And I felt like this was kind of a movie that was sort of a tribute to that part of their life, which they don't go into very much. In fact, they mostly like to focus on rednecks. But in this one, they talk about Midwestern Jews. And I thought there was such a love of that culture in this movie that I really embraced it too. Like towards the end, I mean, one of the main plot points of the movie is that his son is being bar mitzvahed, and his son, stealing money from him and is a pothead and whatever. But there's this point at the end where during the bar mitzvah where you see how proud they are of their son, and I was able to feel that too, which I thought was interesting, seeing as I am a goy. So. I could just feel that pride that they felt at that moment. And I really loved how this movie was such a tribute to that culture. And I also love just how loose and interpretive and expressive the tone and the theme of the movie is. Because it never really says how you're supposed to feel about anything. It never really says, never directs you into a certain direction. And it doesn't beat you over the head with anything, unlike Couples Retreat or Love Happens. It kind of has an ambiguous ending, and we talked about that a little bit, and I think you didn't like it so much. But after the second time I saw this, I felt like it made more sense. But the way I saw this movie was it's almost like a modern retelling of the story of Job in the Bible, where the guy who just getting plagues and everything's going wrong for him, and it's all about a question of faith and how you question your faith. And the movie's kind of split in thirds by how he has to talk to 3 different rabbis. And every time he goes to get advice, they don't really help him. They kind of give him these generic answers, and he's kind of left just wondering, is God even in his life? And he's just kind of wondering about that. And I thought they pulled that off really well. And I don't know, my hat goes off to the Coen brothers. They're one of my favorite creative teams in Hollywood. And I think they've been going on for like 25 years now, and have very few duds in their oeuvre. Like every single film they do pretty much is new and interesting and pushing them somewhere they haven't been before. And this is up for an Academy Award, Best Picture. And it wouldn't be my pick, but if it won, I wouldn't be upset.
All right, I don't think I had any flaws with this one other than the ending, which is why I didn't give it an A+. I see you gave it the A++.
A++, yeah, 110. And I even like the little vignette in the front that you were talking about with the kind of folk tale.
Yeah.
And I felt that was just kind of a mood setter more than anything. But I did like that quite a bit. And it was wonderfully Coen. So I think that's our episode today. And today we talked about Serious Man, Couples Retreat, Zombieland, and Love Happens. And check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/videoclerks. And I want to say thank you to Critic with a Mouth for mentioning us and getting us a couple more subscribers. So join us.